Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're not just talking about money, we're going to build a completely new mindset. So think of this as your personal mentor's playbook for achieving real, lasting financial freedom. And it all starts with a lesson from one of the richest men in history.
So our first lesson comes from a pretty wild story about J. Paul Getty. At the time, he was literally the richest man in the world. And he once made his dinner guests wait outside a restaurant for 15 minutes. Why? Just so he could avoid a small cover charge that expired at 10 p.m. Now, this wasn't about being cheap. This was about a core principle.
And that story perfectly illustrates a fundamental point your mentor would make, the leaky bucket problem. See, it doesn't matter how much water you pour into a bucket if it's full of holes, right? Your earnings are the water. Your spending habits, well, those are the holes. Earning more money is completely useless if you can't manage what you already have.
So the very first lesson isn't about some complicated investment strategy. No, it's about fundamentally relearning how to value every single thing you buy. This is about changing your entire perspective on money itself.
And to do that, we're going to use this really powerful concept called the time cost of purchase. From this moment on, you're not going to think about price in dollars, pounds, or rupees. You're going to think in the most valuable currency you will ever have, hours of your life.
And the process itself is incredibly simple. You can do this right now. Let's say you earn 50,000 rupees a month, working about 200 hours. That means your real hourly wage is 250 rupees. So that new gadget you've been eyeing for 5,000 rupees, that's not 5,000 rupees anymore. That's 20 hours of your life. Suddenly, the question completely changes. Is it still worth it? All right, once you've recalibrated your sense of value, the next lesson from your mentor is all about daily discipline. We're about to see how one tiny, consistent change could become the invisible engine that just quietly builds your wealth in the background. Now, I know this sounds like a huge exaggeration, right? But let's ask the question seriously. Could giving up one small, seemingly insignificant daily habit actually make you a multi-millionaire? The answer, well, it might just shock you. Let's take a common example, a daily smoking habit. Let's say it costs just 100 rupees per day. It seems like a pretty small amount. But that adds up to nearly 40,000 rupees a year that could be working for you instead of literally going up in smoke. But here's where things get really powerful. If you invest that money and earn a pretty modest 10% annual return, the magic of compounding takes over. Just follow the timeline here. After 10 years, you're looking at over 7 lakh. But if you just keep going, by year 34, you've already crossed the 1 crore mark. And if you stick with that single disciplined choice for 40 years, you're left with over 2 crore rupees. This isn't some get-rich-quick fantasy. This is the undeniable power of small, consistent, daily habits. It's about your health and your wealth, all from one simple decision. And you can apply this kind of discipline everywhere, especially when you're shopping. Here are your mentor's rules of engagement. Always make a list. Shop alone to avoid that peer pressure. Set a time limit. Never shop hungry. And here's a good one. Try shopping at the end of the month. When your wallet is feeling a bit thinner, you'll naturally be way more disciplined.
Okay, so once you've mastered the daily discipline, you're ready to get into the big leagues. Your mentor is now going to guide you through the major financial decisions, like managing debt and buying a car. You know, the places where the stakes are much, much higher.
Now, your mentor would stress a really simple but critical distinction. Not all debt is created equal. See, good debt actually puts money in your pocket. Think of a loan for a rental property that generates income. Bad debt, on the other hand, just takes money out. It's used for things that lose value, like fancy gadgets, vacations, or status symbols. And when it comes to buying a car, a prime example of potential bad debt, your mentor is giving you an ironclad rule, the 20-4-10 rule. You put down at least 20%, you finance for no more than 4 years, and you make absolutely sure your total monthly payment is less than 10% of your income. No exceptions. And here's a bonus rule to protect you from yourself. The total price of your car should never be more than half of your total annual income. So if you make 20 lakhs a year, you have no business buying a car worth more than 10 lakh. This one rule will keep you out of so much financial trouble, it's not even funny. This brings us to the final and, maybe the most important lesson from your mentor. This is all about mindset. It's about understanding the profound difference between being truly wealthy and just looking wealthy. This quote from Will Rogers just perfectly captures the essence of what we call the status trap. So much of our spending isn't even for our own happiness. It's for the perceived judgment of other people. And let me tell you, that's a game you just can't win. And it's designed to keep you financially chained. I mean, think about it. Truly wealthy people, they don't need to show off. Their wealth provides them security and freedom, not a need for validation. That constant urge to display how much money you have, it's often a sign of deep financial insecurity.
So how do you escape this trap? Your mentor's final piece of practical advice is this. When you get a bonus or any kind of unexpected cash, do nothing. Just lock it away in a fixed deposit for 3 or 4 months. Let that emotional high wear off. This cooling off period lets you make a rational decision based on utility, not some fleeting desire to impress someone.
And that leaves us with one final, provocative question that your mentor would want you to ask yourself every single day. Look at your bank account, your habits, your purchases, and ask, are you building a financial fortress of real wealth, or are you just renting the appearance of it? The choice, as always, is yours.